Have you ever stopped to think about how science, often quietly, is just fundamentally changing our world? Tackling these massive challenges we face, it might not always grab the headlines, but the breakthroughs are happening constantly, and the impact, it's huge. Today, we're doing a deep dive into biotechnology. Now, if you follow this area, you'll know it's not exactly brand new. Humans have been using biological processes for, well, millennia, way before we called it biotechnology. But right now, in 2024, it's this vast, burgeoning field. So, our mission today is to explore that broad spectrum. We want to highlight some really exciting projects, new developments, and look at its potential to push us towards, a more sustainable and healthier future for everyone. And we're drawing on an overview called Biotechnology Breakthroughs, Harnessing the Power of Science for Innovation, which came out March 29th, 2024. Okay, so let's unpack this. For those maybe less familiar, biotechnology, it's really where biology meets engineering, right? It's about using living systems, technological tools to solve problems, improving human health while being tackling environmental issues. It's where R&D folks bring together that deep knowledge of life, of living systems, with really cutting-edge tech expertise to get things done.
Exactly. And the range of applications is it's enormous. Biotechnology really gets at key issues across so many different parts of science and society, too. Think about how we grow food or how we treat diseases, even how we handle waste. It really is about harnessing the inherent power of biology, but guiding it with human innovation.
Okay, so it sounds like it's less one single thing and more, a collection of specialized areas. For listeners trying to get a handle on this huge domain, what are the main branches driving innovation today? Could you walk us through them?
You're absolutely right. It's very multifaceted. There are several key branches making big waves. First up, you've got synthetic biology. This is where we use engineering principles to design or redesign biological systems. Often involves very precise genetic tweaks like advanced DNA editing or even building completely new biological pathways from scratch.
Engineering life itself.
On a way, yes. Then there's agricultural biotechnology that focuses on improving farming processes, crop production, livestock, and often uses those synthetic biology tools we just mentioned.
Makes sense.
Then, environmental biotechnology. Its goal is protecting ecosystems from pollution, cleaning up contaminated sites. That includes things like developing more sustainable crops or finding safe ways to dispose of farm waste.
Okay.
Moving towards industry, industrial biotechnology uses biological components for new tech processes or functional materials.
What the?
This leads to breakthroughs in, say, biofuels, textiles, cosmetics, packaging, all sorts of things.
Right.
And finally, medical biotechnology. This is a big one, obviously. It drives innovation in preventing, diagnosing, and treating diseases. And it's increasingly based on a patient's unique genetic makeup and their specific condition.
Okay, so that gives us the map. But here's where it gets really interesting. Let's talk about the cutting edge stuff happening now. Where are the big breakthroughs?
Yeah.
In medical biotechnology, for example, gene editing with CRISPR. It's just revolutionary, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Lay Biotech, which is a major voice in the industry, thinks approved CRISPR treatments, maybe for things like sickle cell anemia, could really bring clinical gene editing into the mainstream this year, 2024. Think about CRISPR like a biological search and replace for our genes, potentially rewriting the code that causes diseases. The precision is just mind-blowing.
It really is. And you see companies like Thermo Fisher Scientific and Merck KGaA getting recognition. Celeb Science highlighted their CRISPR tools for improving the whole gene editing workflow and developing new therapeutic strategies.
Right.
And that same push for precision, it's driving personalized medicine or precision medicine forward in 2024.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about that. It's different from the old one-size-fits-all approach.
Totally different. Traditional medicine often treated diseases similarly in different people. Precision medicine changes the game. It looks at your specific genetic profile, identifies unique characteristics, and then allows doctors to tailor therapies just for you, for your biology.
That move towards individualized treatment, it feels incredibly powerful. What about drug development itself? Are we seeing fundamentally new types of drugs emerge?
We certainly are. We're moving into a new era of drug design. Select Science points to things like bispecific antibodies. These are engineered antibodies that can target two different disease markers simultaneously.
Two targets at once.
Exactly. They're proving really effective, especially in cancer treatment.
Wow.
And then there are oligonucleotide therapeutics. These are like tiny targeted bits of genetic material. They can interfere with the genes causing diseases. Huge potential for genetic conditions, infectious diseases. It's about much more sophisticated, targeted interventions.
Okay, let's shift gears. from our health to, well, our dinner plates. Agricultural biotechnology. People call it a silent revolution in food. How exactly is it making food production, cheaper, greener, more efficient?
It's a critical field, no doubt,
Yeah.
especially when you think about the pressures.
Hmm.
Growing population, climate instability. These things really threaten global food supply.
Right.
Agricultural biotech offers real solutions, ways to address these threats, make sure we have enough healthy, nutritious food now and in the future. It's not just about getting bigger harvests, though that's part of it. It's about fundamentally redesigning crops, making them tougher, more resilient to climate change, ensuring food security for billions, basically engineering resilience right into our food system.
So what does that look like in practice?
Well, for example, biotech researchers have developed genetically modified crop varieties. They're more resistant to weeds, pests, tough weather conditions like drought or heat.
Okay.
And some biotech crops are designed to tolerate specific herbicides. This helps farmers control weeds more effectively and, importantly, means they can rely less on potentially harmful chemical pesticides.
And it's not just modifying the crops themselves, right? There are new ways to protect them, too.
Absolutely. Biotech is also being used to create natural pesticides. These are often safer and better for the environment than synthetic ones. We call them biopesticides. Their active ingredients come from natural sources, plants, animals, bacteria, even minerals.
Natural pesticides, how common are they?
Surprisingly common. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency lists, get this, 390 registered biopesticide active ingredients.
390, wow.
Yeah. And some might surprise you. Things like baking soda, canola oil, stuff you probably have in your kitchen right now.
Huh. Okay, now let's connect this to industry. Industrial processes and environmental solutions sometimes feels like they're at odds, historically anyway.
That's often been the perception, yes.
But it seems biotechnology is actually fostering a kind of green revolution here, helping companies build sustainability right into their industrial processes. How's that working?
It's a really exciting area. Biofuel production is a big one. Scientists are creating liquid biofuels, ethanol, biodiesel, methanol, butanol, directly from plant matter and other natural substances.
Using plants for fuel.
Exactly. And they can also harness bacteria, specifically anaerobic decomposition, where bacteria break down wet waste in oxygen-free environments. This naturally produces methane gas, which can then be captured and used as energy.
Capturing methane, that's a potent greenhouse gas.
It is. So that's a double win. And then there's the materials side. Huge advances in biodegradable materials, things that act like plastic but are much better for the environment. Scientists are making these biodegradable polymers from things like starch, cellulose, even food, and agricultural waste.
Turning waste into materials?
Precisely. And you can imagine the potential impact, especially for regions with strong farming and manufacturing roots. Think about places in, say, America's heartland.
Right.
They could use crop residues for biofuel, turn agricultural waste into biodegradable packaging. This could seriously diversify local economies, create new green jobs, make them leaders in sustainable manufacturing.
Attracts investment too, I imagine.
Absolutely. And for the energy sector, capturing methane from farm waste or municipal waste, that creates renewable energy and cuts greenhouse gas emissions. It aligns perfectly with global climate goals.
It's all incredibly promising.
Yeah.
But this scope, especially when you talk about modifying DNA, creating new pathways, it must bring up ethical questions.
It absolutely does. That's a really important point. Anytime you talk about tampering, as some might put it, with the basic mechanisms of life like DNA and RNA, ethical considerations have to be front and center.
So how does the field navigate that?
Well, the key is that scientists must proceed with ethics as a primary consideration. It's not an afterthought. Fears about things like gene editing are understandable, but they can be addressed through careful ethical practice. The publication Biotechnology Healthcare actually outlines 5 critical areas of concern.
Okay, what are they?
First, rigorous measures to protect human subjects in any clinical trial. That's paramount.
Non-negotiable.
Second, striving for equitable care. That means making biotech products affordable and widely available, not just for the wealthy.
Access is key.
Third, protecting genomic information. Your genome is private data. Patient rights and data security are crucial here.
Makes sense.
Fourth, stem cell research. It remains a hot-button topic for some people. So researchers are urged to navigate this area with particular care and sensitivity. And finally, considering the potential misuse of the technology. How can this work be used? How should it be used? Thinking about things like bioterrorism and how to counter it.
That's a heavy responsibility.
It is.
So, connecting all this back to the big picture, what does this mean for the major global challenges we're facing? Despite the ethical complexities, you really can't ignore the potential benefits, can you?
You really can't. Biotechnology has immense potential to tackle some of our most urgent global problems.
Like climate change.
Definitely. Those agricultural and green innovations we talked about, they play a huge role in mitigation. The U.S. Department of Agriculture even calls agricultural biotech an important tool for addressing the causes and consequences of climate change and the food insecurity that often comes with it.
And speaking of food security,
Biotech boosts it significantly by creating modified crops that grow better, stay fresh longer. And animal breeders use biotech tools too to develop improved livestock lines. It all contributes to a more stable food supply.
and what about health crises, like pandemics?
Well, the experience with COVID-19 really underscored the need for rapid R&D in infectious diseases. It spurred a lot of biotech investment into understanding viruses at the molecular level, developing faster diagnostics, novel treatments. That work continues.
Looking ahead, then, the future seems incredibly dynamic. What are some of the next big things on the horizon?
It's moving fast. We're seeing exciting things like the growing use of artificial intelligence and machine learning in biotech research and development.
AI analyzing biological data.
Exactly. Finding patterns, speeding up discovery. And then there are advanced methods like bioprinting, essentially 3D printing tissues or organs, and tissue engineering gaining traction.
Bioprinting organs. That sounds like science fiction.
It's getting closer to reality. And looking at the industry side, LaBiotech predicts more mergers and acquisitions in 2024. This could help larger companies grow, but maybe make it tougher for smaller startups.
Interesting dynamic.
Yeah, and we'll likely see more outsourcing, biotech firms partnering more with specialized contract research organizations, CROs.
To handle specific research tasks.
Right. It lets them scale faster, focus on their core innovations. LaBiotech sums it up, saying basically, 2024 stands as a pivotal year, potentially marking a turning point in the biotech industry.
A turning point. It really feels like we're on the cusp of something huge.
I think so.
And, for anyone listening whose interest has been sparked by all this, it seems like a fascinating field to get into.
It really is. And there are pathways in. Formal training, like maybe a bachelor's degree in biology, gives you that fundamental understanding. Programs often include lab work, research projects, internships. It provides a solid foundation to build on.
Well, this has been a really profound journey through the world of biotechnology. We've touched on its incredible scope from gene editing and personalized medicine, revolutionizing healthcare, to its role in sustainable farming, feeding the planet, and driving that green revolution in industry. This field isn't just evolving, it feels like it's accelerating, reshaping our future in ways we're only beginning to grasp.
Absolutely.
So maybe here's a final thought for you, the listener, to take away and chew on. How do we as a society balance the amazing promise of future innovations, things like bioprinting, advanced AI in health, with those complex ethical questions we discussed? How do we ensure everyone benefits, that access is equitable, and that these powerful tools are used responsibly?